Good evening, Christian family. It's so good to see you guys again. It's been a while since I shared a video, but I've been praying about the next year and wanting to hear from the Lord the direction that He wants to lead me. And I've come to the conclusion that in the previous year, we've learned so much about how to obtain the promises, the inheritance, how to walk by faith. We've had to learn just how good God was, which was preparation for this year, to learn since He's that good, I can lay down my entire life. So my focus this year is going to be about surrendering my life to Christ afresh, anew, all over again. It's something we do, but then our flesh tries to take over. We lose the zeal maybe. We think we're strong enough now because He has done a work in us now. So we think we're created and we're made strong enough to do this supernatural walk apart from God. So I want to talk about this example of Peter in Matthew 16. Jesus asked His disciples, "Who do you say I am?" And Peter answered, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus said, "You just heard from God. Flesh and blood couldn't know this. You actually was in tune with God, heart to heart, and He revealed something to you." Now, if we continue reading in Matthew 16, verse 23, Jesus just told His disciples He was about to be crucified. Verse 23, Peter turned and said, verse 22, Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, "Far be it from thee, Lord, this shall not be done unto thee." And Jesus turned and said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense to me, for thou savorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men." So in one moment of time, or 1 month, or 1 year, we're really in tune with the Holy Spirit and we're getting a lot of revelation. And then, just out of the blue, we can wind up in the flesh again. Notice He continues in verse 24 and says, "If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it." So Jesus was giving him the instruction that Peter needed. If Peter would have laid down his life at that moment, he never would have denied Jesus before His crucifixion. If you notice in Matthew 26, verse 34, Jesus said to Peter, "This night thou shalt deny me thrice." Well, He had already told Peter right here in Matthew 16, if you deny yourself, you're not going to deny me. But Peter wasn't listening. He wasn't learning yet. The visual example is an ink pen. When it's full of something hard, concrete, when this vessel is full of something other than ink, it can't fulfill its purpose. It can't fulfill its function. You have to get rid of that self life, the things that please the self. It would have been a good thing, and it would have pleased Peter very much if Jesus had lived and not been crucified. But that wasn't the God thing. So good and God are sometimes two separate things. But Peter had to get rid of what was in him, his own self-desires, and he had to lay those down to come to the point to say, "Not my will, but yours be done, Lord." And following the same visual, if Jesus is wanting to write our story and narrate it so that we become a beautiful work of poetry, of art on display for the world to see, how can He make that beautiful if we're both trying to hold the pen? If we're both trying to be in control, it won't be a very good work of art. We have to empty ourselves of what's within us, and then we have to release all authority and control to God for Him to be Lord of our life. Our strength, I don't know about you all, but those that's been on the Christian journey 20, 30, 40 years, we tend to recognize the strength that we've developed from God. And then we try to lean on our own strength. We try to lean on who He's turned us into. But we can never do this supernatural walk apart from God. I've learned in pursuing God, the thing that I have omitted, which should not have been omitted, was I wasn't releasing myself to Him. I was looking for Him, looking for the wisdom, the principles. But what He wants and what He's leading me to this year, which will be the focus through my whole year, what He wants is for me to just let it all go, lay it all down at His feet. If you recall all of the Old Testament men and women that we have examples of, those which inherited the promised land, those which seen angels and had visitations of the Lord, these people were people who had just fallen in love with Jesus. There's a big difference in those people who go to church and those who have actually fallen in love with Jesus and laid down their life for Jesus. And I want to be the one that's different. I want to be so in love with Him that every moment of every day I'm constantly aware of His presence. Those men and women who were madly in love with Christ are the ones that receive the blessings. So I think there is a journey to obtain answered prayers, but if that's our goal, we're missing it. We're not going to receive the goal by going after the goal. When we lay down our life for Christ and go after Christ with everything, then those blessings begin to overtake us. So if anybody has their own videos that they want to do, I encourage you to post them. I would love to see participation on the Christian Family Group, because I did design it with the family orientation in mind, the atmosphere of a family in mind. So feel free to join in on our page and communicate with us. And hope everyone has a wonderful day. And thank you for watching. God bless you. See you next time.